What's going on, guys? Ryan Wong here. Before we get into today's video, I just want to give a big thank you and shout out to everyone who watched my first video. I really appreciate it. We're on our road to 1,000 subscribers this year, so if you guys haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. So, I know you guys are probably wondering, and if you're not wondering, you should be wondering, why is the audio so crisp? Why does he sound twice as sexy as last time? Well, there's only one simple explanation for that. Your boy is wearing wired Apple headphones. So first of all, don't flame me in the comments. Your boy's broke, you know, he's struggling. He don't got money for no AirPods. In today's video, I will be telling you guys my #1 secret on how to land any longboarding trick. Let's get into it. Alrighty guys, so because today's video is focused on pushing your limits and getting out of your comfort zone to land new tricks, I'm going to be warming up with 10 unconventional tricks to fully prepare my mindset for the rest of this video. So let's just get into it. Alrighty, so for the first trick, we're just going to do an ollie sex change.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Alright, so for trick number 2, we're just going to be attempting a frontside pop shove it, but instead of landing with 2 feet, I'm just going to be landing with 1. Alright, so for trick number 3, I'm just going to be doing a fakie big spin. Same thing with the frontside shove it, landing 1 foot. Whatever. Alright, for the 4th trick, I'm going to be trying a backside 360, but on the final 180 pivot, doing a fakie shove it out. Never done this one before, but it doesn't seem too hard, so let's just see if I can get it first try. Alright, so for trick number 5, I'm going to be trying a varial flip sex change, but land cross land. I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully I'll show you right here. Oh, that's sketchy. Oh, fuck. Now that is scary. Hey, yo, so scary. Alrighty guys, so for trick number 6, I'm just gonna be attempting a frontside no comply 360 with a fakie frontside shove it out. First try, I don't know, we'll see. Right, so for trick number 7, if you guys watched my first video, you know I was struggling with the tray flip. So in this video, for trick number 7, we're gonna get redemption and do a tray flip. Why is it so hard? All right, so for trick number 8, let's just keep it simple and do a double flip. Really contemplating there. Oh, that rolled, but you know, whatever. All right, trick number 9, half cab flip, cross land. Hell no, I ain't doing that. New trick 9. Alrighty guys, so for trick number 9, I'm just gonna do a varial flip, land 1 foot. Alright, so for the 10th and final warm-up trick, I realized this is no longer a warm-up and I completely played myself because my legs are already shot and I'm very tired. But for the sake of doing 10, I'll just do a backside no comply revert. Alright, so now that we are fully warmed up for the rest of this video, I will be teaching you guys the ways in which I go about learning and landing new tricks. And so I have a list of 5 very advanced and very technical tricks that I plan to learn and land on the spot. And so pretty much during each trick, I'll be walking you guys through my thought process and how I overcome any of those fears to commitment. So without further ado, let's get into the first trick, let's get into the first tip. All right, so tip number 1 is to visualize success. And so when it comes to landing any trick, I think before even attempting the trick, it's very important to envision yourself doing the trick, how the trick would feel, and how you would land it. For example, if you're doing a no comply 180 or any 180, you should prepare yourself to land switch. Think about how that would feel. All those small components really matter when it comes to executing and landing the trick. So with that said, let's get into the first trick, which is a frontside 180 into a fakie no comply 360. All right, before I even attempt to piece it all together, I'm just gonna do a frontside 180. All right, now that we have the 180 out of the way, the next component I'm gonna be tackling is the 360, so a frontside 360. All right, so the next component I'm gonna be working on is the fakie no comply 360. Alrighty, so now that we know how it feels like to land the major components of this trick, let's try to piece it all together. So right now, I think I'm just thinking about the trick too much. I should focus on one component at a time. So I think right now I just have to focus on the first 180 and doing a slow pivot so that I can transition into the no comply. That wasn't the trick, but it was some progress. Because I'm learning the trick right now, it's better to attempt it going a little bit slower so I can focus on all of the components at once. It's a lot to think about. All right, so slow approach. Do the initial 180 and think about pivoting out slowly and simultaneously dropping the foot for the last no comply. So the second tip I have for you guys is to pretty much just break the trick down. So as you saw in the first trick, I broke it down into smaller components. Started off with a frontside 180 and then a frontside 360, and after that a no comply frontside 360. Because the trick is pretty much a frontside 360 into a no comply 180 or a frontside 180 into a fakie no comply 360. So breaking down the whole trick into smaller components really help piece it all together. So with that said, let's get into our second trick. So for trick number 2, I'm going to be doing a backside flip with an additional body varial. So following the tip I had just given, I'm just going to break the trick down and start off with a simple backside 180. All right, so following the backside 180, because the trick is a backside kickflip, the next component I will be working on is a kickflip. All right, so after the kickflip, I'm gonna be trying a backside flip. All right, because the next component to this trick is pretty sketchy, put on a wrist guard because the slip out potential is pretty high. With that said, now that I have the protection on, I can go full out. Pause. Nice and slow. Oh. I think I'm fucked. Guys, I think I need a new trick. All right, guys, so after taking 2 nasty falls, I am not willing to hurt my body any further for that trick. So I'm just gonna switch it up a little bit and we'll go from there. All right, so the new trick that I have in mind is a backside flip cross land. So we had already done the backside 180, the kick flip, and the backside flip. So all we have to do now is land cross-legged. So let's piece it all together. Hopefully I don't die like I did last time, and let's do it. Oh. All right, so quick tip, I'm just gonna force myself to fully commit to the next attempt no matter what the outcome. I think sometimes it's just very important to break that barrier and that mentality that's stopping you from committing to landing 2 feet. So I'm just gonna try that and show you guys that it really works. I mean it worked, but like, all right, so for this trick, I think the biggest component that's holding me back is just the commitment. So like I said before, next attempt, 2 feet on, no matter what happens. Why? Why couldn't I have just held my balance. All right, so now I know, and now you guys know, that that tip really, really works. Right here, full commitment, full confidence. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed trick number 2 and that mini tip that I gave with just committing and landing with 2 feet. I think that really goes a long way in terms of commitment. Just forcing yourself to land on top of the board with 2 feet, no matter the outcome, goes a long way when it comes to breaking those barriers to commitment. So with that said, the third tip that I will be giving you guys is something that is pretty simple and something that I'm doing right now, and that is to film yourself. So filming yourself is very, very beneficial because it allows you to go backwards in time, analyze your clip, analyze your movements, and any of those things that you may be doing wrong to make those adjustments for the future. So with that said, always film yourself, and let's get into trick number 3. All right, so trick number 3 is pretty exciting. We have a manual heel flip, and so I'm just gonna break it down with the basic components. First, try a manual, a heel flip, maybe a manual ollie, and then really combine it all together. All right, so component 2 of the trick, the heel flip. All right, for component number 3, we're just gonna do a simple manual ollie out. All right, so now that we have all the components lined up, let's try to piece it together. This one should be fairly difficult. So right now the flick seems pretty good. I'll take that speed and focus on maybe giving it a little more flick, but I think the pop is actually good. All right, so we got the flick. These tricks are very difficult, and maybe what you're trying to learn is difficult as well. So just be patient with it, it'll come. And sometimes don't expect to land the trick in one day. But in this case, we're landing it in one day. Oh my God, let's go. All right guys, so hope you enjoyed trick number 3. Pleasantly caught me by surprise. Was not expecting to land it so soon, but super stoked on that one. For tip number 4, I'm just gonna be addressing commitment. And so as I mentioned in the backside flip to cross step, one thing you really have to do is push yourself to commit. Now what I mean by that is if you can't even ollie, don't think about ollieing down a 20 stair because that's crazy. But just forcing yourself to commit and land over and on top of the board with 2 feet will really elevate your confidence. So when I forced myself to land with 2 feet, even though I fell immediately after, it elevated my confidence and really proved to myself that I was capable of landing the trick. So doing something as simple as committing one time will unlock your full potential when trying to learn and land that new trick. So with that said, let's get into trick number 4. All right, so for trick number 4, I'm just gonna try a nollie shove it to manual into a kickflip out. Not gonna explain it too much, let's just get into it. The most important component to this trick is the manual. I've already done that before, so I'm not gonna try it again. But in this case, we're just gonna do a nollie shove it and a manual kickflip out. Steezy. Just like that, guys. Pieced it all together, execute to perfection. All right, so hope you guys are enjoying the video so far. It's been really rewarding to be able to learn and land all these tricks in such a small amount of time. With that said, the 5th and final tip, this one is probably the most important in the whole video, and that is just to be patient and to just really understand that learning and progressing takes time. Don't expect to be landing a trick in a day. It might take a few weeks, it might even take a few months or even longer than that, but just enjoy the daily grind, the process of it, and before you know it, you'll have achieved your dream trick and you'll be searching for the next. So with that said, let's get into trick number 5. All right, so for the 5th and final trick, I will be attempting a backside pivot into a fakie big flip. So I'm gonna be taking the same approach as all the other tricks. I'll break it down, and so we'll just start off with a backside 180. 360 pivot. All right, now I'm gonna try a fakie big flip where I will pivot into it. All right, so pretty much all we have to do now is piece everything together and we should be good to go. So I think I have to hold on to the 360 for longer, slow it down, and then just try to pop that varial flip. Alrighty guys, so with the 5th and final trick out of the way, that pretty much wraps up the end of today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching me learn and land all of these new tricks, and I really hope I could teach you something as well. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please drop a comment down below. And yeah, if you guys haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. It would really mean a lot to me. Until next time, catch you later. Peace out.